Hello everybody, it's your boy N here. I'm coming at you guys with another YouTube video. So, in today's video, it's going to be a skill build for Viessa for Purge 10, or what used to be Purge 30, basically a Purge Viessa setup. So let's get right on into today's video. Starting off with the modules on Viessa. Now, the modules with Viessa are going to be fairly simple. There's a lot to do, but a lot to focus on, but they're all very simple things to focus on. So starting off, let's go on with the module for your maneuvering. I personally prefer mid-air, you might prefer long distance, or you might prefer multi. So if you do go with either one of them, it's all good. Mid-air maneuvering is just personal preference. Now for the red module, it has to be absolute zero. Absolute zero is going to allow you to get a ton of damage, which is what you want. Now with Viessa for Purge, because this is a skill build, of course, you are basically going to want to be able to absolutely abuse your fourth ability, your first ability, and your third ability. Now the way we abuse abilities in this game is going to be fairly obvious. It is going to be with cooldown. So with cooldown, we are going to max out our cooldown. You can see over here, I'm going to be going with focus on chill, and then because of this red module, it turns all of Viessa's abilities. Let's just refresh that. It turns all of Viessa's abilities down to singular. So we are also going to be using focus on singular. Now we're going to shove this one over here. Then of course for our other two cooldown modules, we are going to be going with MP conversion as well as nimble fingers. So that is going to immediately allow us to have ridiculous levels of cooldown. You can see here we've got 11 seconds on the blizzard, we've got 3 seconds on her third ability, and we've got literally 1 second on her first ability. So what this basically means is her first ability is basically fully automatic. You can spam that, plenty of damage. Her third ability has a fairly fast cooldown, and then her fourth ability absolutely destroys as well. So what we've got here is already maxed out cooldown. Now we've got to add our damage. Now for Viessa, for her damage, there's just 2 main modules that you are going to need. For your critical modules, you are going to want skill insight for number 1, and then skill concentration for number 2. Now for your final module, because there is one module that gives you a little bit of both, it's going to be front lines, and that's going to be our final crit module. With this, we are going to get plenty of crit rate. We are also going to get a lot of crit damage. Now you could also add in emergency measures if you'd like more crit rate and less crit damage, but I don't see why you would, because you know you want to be hitting harder with Viessa. This is the way to do it. So now that we've gone over that, there's just small quality of life. Now with Purge, you're not going to get away with literally 0 HP all of the time. You could most likely get away with it, but just to be on the safer side, I am going to recommend that you run a HP module. For Purge or Purge Challenge, it is usually safer to run this, and you'd rather be overly equipped with HP, but you would you don't want to be dying and losing time. So I would rather recommend a HP mod than not recommend it, because I want this build to be more user friendly. Now for the last 2 modules, or last module, it's going to be a little bit of range for her ability. So it's going to be skill expansion, I cannot read. Expansion, there you go. Skill expansion for 92 range. Now this final module slot is gonna be a little bit of a mixed bag. It's personal preference depending on what you want to do with it, but the main options that I think people would go for is number 1 gonna be dangerous ambush. You'd run this if you want to run maxed levels of damage, or the other one being MP collector. Now for Purge specifically, I don't like to rely on drops myself, so in this instance I will be going with MP collector just for this build, because I don't like to rely on the mob drops. So I'm going to rely on MP collector a little bit more than the other drops from the mission. So this is essentially what I run for my Viessa build. So let's talk about the other aspects of this setup. Next up, let's have a look at the Reactor. Now for the Reactor, you can basically go with any of the mountings. However, I am going to recommend that you go with the beam rifle mounting. The reason for that is going to be the Clairvoyance. The Clairvoyance is a beam rifle weapon which will allow you to essentially, once you spray it enough, it's going to allow you to debuff mobs or elites for chill damage. So they basically have reduced resistance to chill, so running this is going to allow you to rip apart their defenses. And for the modules on this, it's fairly simple. You just ideally want to be running Super Cool Plasma, and Analysis Master is going to be the main two modules. The other ones are optional. You can see here I don't even have a build on here, so I'm not bothering to rely on it for damage. So top optimization condition is going to be beam rifle mounting. For the two stats in the middle, chill and singular of course, then I would recommend cooldown, and then crit damage would be a very good one, or singular would also be a good one as well. So with this is what I would recommend. Now external components with Viessa are fairly simple as well. The main thing that we are trying to focus on with this build is absolutely cooldown. So you want to make sure that we are running as much cooldown as possible. For that, immediately we are going to be going with 2 pieces of Hunter. Now for the external components, external component cores, on all of these sets, I would recommend going with max HP and defense, or depending on the stage, if it's a specific resistance and you have enough cores to just re-roll all the time, then go for resistances. But overall, max HP and defense is going to be a lot easier for most players to run with. So I'm going to be going with 2 pieces of the Hunter set. So I'm going to go with the memory, and I'm also going to go with the HP. So we'll go with that for now. Then the other 2 pieces I would recommend is either the following. So either Enlightened Mage, just for 6% skill power, which works out quite nice, or the other ones I could recommend would be 2 pieces of Ascending if you want reduced skill cost to again allow you to spam your abilities. But the ones that I use personally is going to be 2 pieces of Plague. Now the reason I'm going with 2 pieces of Plague is because you can see 5% singular power buff, which is going to of course eat into Viessa's singular, and we're just going to go crazy with singular damage. You could use 2 pieces of Polar Knight as well for chill. It works either way, but this is just generally how I would use the components with Viessa. So now let's talk about the arcade tuning that you're going to want to run with Viessa. Now with the build that we've got going on, there is 2 options that I would mostly recommend. Now the first one is going to be a full damage setup for Viessa. Now with that, this is going to be just straight up skill power, and then we're going to go up to straight up cooldown. Then from cooldown, we're just going to go straight up into the crit rate, and then we are also going to go into the crit damage. The reason we are doing that is because you can see now we're at 96 crit rate, which is not 100 of course, but this is close enough to the point where if you have over 95, you're basically hitting crits all the time anyways, so you will be fine with this. And you can see our crit damage is over 4%, over 4%, so you know this is going to hit very, very hard as well. So this is the first tree, the one that I would recommend if you play more relaxed with Viessa and you just want higher damage numbers. Now tree number 2, this is going to be the tree that I recommend if you like to play aggressive and you like to rush ahead and be the first in the room and just destroy absolutely everything. Now with that, I am going to recommend something slightly different. So you're going to want to go all the way up to here. You are going to want to still eat into the crit rate though. You are going to want to go across all the way up, and then you are going to want to get defense neutralization. Now with defense neutralization, this is still going to allow you to rush ahead, but it will also allow you to rip apart defenses and just resistance to basically all the elements. Meaning with Viessa, if you hit first with her first ability or her third ability or even her fourth ability, you are ripping their defenses off, and you're absolutely going to be ripping everything apart in the room. Now you have 7 nodes remaining. Now with these nodes, you could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then you've also got access to this up here, which you can use to get yourself the singular fusion tuning, or alternatively with this setup, I would recommend going with and getting yourself chill cohesion, which doesn't really make a massive difference, but if you are gonna run a mutant cell with this anyways, I would recommend chill cohesion. That's option number 1. Option number 2 for this is going to be just stopping over here once you hit the purple damage, and then using these 3 to get yourself even more crit damage, which is going to allow you to hit almost as hard, except you've got the power of defense neutralization on your side if you can play aggressive. But yeah, like I mentioned at the beginning, run this tree if you like being aggressive, rushing into the room, destroying everything before everyone else gets there. This is the tree I would recommend. Next up for weapons, I did already mention the clairvoyance. Now, with the clairvoyance, there is also 2 other things that you could do for your weapons. Number 1 I would recommend is going to be the last dagger. If you do want to use a weapon on this setup, the dagger is absolutely going to be that weapon. A build like this would be fairly simple and would allow you to hit plenty of damage. Just make sure that you aim for your head and get your headshots in, and you'll be doing plenty of damage with the dagger as well. These would basically be the only 2 weapons that I recommend with Viessa. So yeah. Next up, let's have a talk about the RK inversions. So with the inversions, the first one I would recommend is going to be, if I can take this off, there you go. Would recommend is going to be Adrenaline Rush. Now, Adrenaline Rush just allows you to be a little bit faster. It's a nice inversion. Other than that, I would recommend rocking with, can't even deactivate him, Biodensity Augmentation for a little bit of HP, or Circulation Tactic for extra cooldown. Now, these 3, if you're going just ham with your skills, will be absolutely great as a trio, especially this Circulation Tactic, because additional cooldown on Viessa is going to be a blessing. You are probably already at cap, so you don't actually need this one. If you are using your dagger or your clairvoyance, it'd be better to go with chill rounds or something of the sort. Chill rounds, or even probabilistic recovery system for MP and HP, or neurostim, or even neural focus augmentation, but just preference based for the third one. The ones that I would recommend running for the most part is Adrenaline Rush and Biodensity, and the third one is basically up to you. Okay, so now that we've got the build out of the way, let's get on into some gameplay. Okay, so let's run through Purge 30 with Viessa. First of all, we are of course going to activate her second ability to give ourselves some additional speed and some additional damage. Pop in straight with her 4th ability. You can see here, hit him with the 1, boom, finished. Second wave of mobs, hit him with Viessa's 1, hit him with the 3. See these dudes over here, give him a sec, hit him with the 1, hit him with the 3. Hello buddy, and bye-bye buddy. Simple. With Viessa, you just want to go crazy with skills, because of course, you know, this is a skills build, and yeah, making sure that you just rip everything apart by debuffing and stuff like that is a really nice and sweet, fast way to play Viessa, which is how I personally play her. You can see just in general, I'm running and jumping around and doing all of this stuff. I'm playing in a very bizarre way to some people, but this is genuinely how I have a lot of fun with her. Then, once you drop her 4th ability down, you're going to basically kill everything off anyways. So you just gotta be mindful of that. Pop in with her 3rd ability. See that? Debuff. Boom. Boom. Make sure to activate your 2nd. Keep that speed. Pop in with your abilities. And because of that mutant cell that we've got plenty of range. Range is not an issue, and damage is of course not an issue either, because we're debuffing absolutely everything under the sun. So this is just a really, really efficient way to rip everything apart, in my opinion, with Viessa. Next to here, debuff him. Hit him in the face and he's almost one-shotted. Beautiful. As for these trash, they're just trash. We leave them. Same with this. Just debuffing with Viessa is so powerful. Like, you want to make sure you're always running debuffs with her, because you can see how hard I'm hitting. Even though I'm not really playing in that crazy of a way, the debuffs go crazy with Viessa, and I'm sure this gameplay is pretty much highlighting that to a lot of you. Even over here, just using her 1 to mob is absolutely excellent. Finishing everything off with her 4, simple and effective way to just rip everything apart. And then over here, see all these? No, you don't. Using her third ability, using her debuff, using the 1, using the 3, all you need. Again over here, using her 1 to mob. Great way to play it. You can just see all the debuffs and everything stacking on all of the elites. It's crazy good. And yeah, hit them with that, they're all gone. Mobs over there, hit them with that, debuff them again, they're all gone. Apart from that, now they're all gone. Crap, he survived. No, he didn't. GG's. But you can just see, just in general, this is a very aggressive and fun way to play Viessa. This is how I like to play Viessa. I'm basically talking myself into a loop whilst trying to concentrate on gameplay as well as, you know, talking to you guys. But just in general, you can see that this is a very effective way to play this loadout of mine. So yeah, I'm just gonna shut up and focus on the gameplay. So yeah, we're almost at the end now anyways, so don't worry, you don't have to put up with my horrible commentary for much longer. Pop in with the 4th ability, slap them down. See these guys here, finish them off, 1, 3, and then done. Once this dude spawns in, pop your 4th ability. Make sure to debuff this one as well. Debuffing him is going to be important because, you know, you want to rip him apart as fast as you can. Making sure to avoid the laser is going to be a pretty essential step as well. And then you're just going to be spamming your abilities as normal. And yeah, hitting him with the debuffs is going to be important. Killing that. Almost done and dusted with this now. Final phase. There you go. Just do that. Do that. Jump around. Wait for the laser to hit or miss. There you go. Pop the 4th ability. And slap him. Spam your 1st ability at this point, because you're just going to kill him off, and boom, there you go. Viessa gameplay, guys. She's fun, she's aggressive, she hits very hard, and yeah, this is how I play Viessa. Not the fastest run ever, but this stage wasn't the best stage ever either. Back and forth, but yeah, that's essentially the gameplay for this build.